Well, it's decision time today, especially if you look at where the markets are. There might be some plays today. We'll break it down for you. We've got a trader coming in. Tim, as usual, it's going to be fun. Before we get started, I do want to thank our sponsor, and that is BTCC, where you guys can get into doing a variety of different trade tactics, including copy trading. You get a 10% bonus on your first-time deposit, along with a whole slew of benefits, including some discounts, and you do get some lower trade cost as well. So check it out. Use our link down below. It's going to get you into BTCC and start working on some of these trades out there, guys. Let's go over to a couple of points. Actually, let's just bring in Tim. You guys know Tim Warren, coming in from Tim Warren Trades over on YouTube. How are you, man?
I'm doing good, Paul. Good to be back on the show. How you doing?
Excellent, excellent. We got a lot happening today. Clarity continues to get the delay. And also we're just dealing with, I think, a very unusual market, because I think a lot of people right now are trying to figure out what to do, making decisions on what is the route to take. Should I buy Bitcoin? Should I buy ETH? Should I buy an altcoin? Should I go into MicroStrategy? So we're going to try to answer a lot of that today. I'm looking at your post right here. Volatile week for Bitcoin and crypto. It's Friday, so we all know something crazy is about to happen. I would agree with you. The question is, what? Are we going to get something from Trump going into the Bitcoin conference this weekend? What do you think? What do you think? Anything crazy?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it is anyone's guess. What I, though, am looking on the charts, I would imagine there's going to be some sort this weekend of bad news. I know we got some good news. Obviously, they're going to be actually going out to Pakistan again to discuss things with Iran. I think the big headline that just came in this morning, obviously, was, for the longest time, some of those Republican senators were saying, we're not going to confirm Warsh until this DOJ probe is over. Well, that's over. So now Warsh can get confirmed. The assumption is rate cuts are coming. That being said, we're sitting at resistance. There's some things on the charts we'll look over here in a couple of minutes that don't scream bullish to me just yet. I would love to be wrong, but I think the chaos right now, people are feeling kind of positive. I think chaos might send us back down.
Yeah. Well, hey, Zach Panel from Grayscale hit it just on something you just mentioned there, which was domino number one had to fall, and that was the DOJ dropping the criminal probe on Powell. So that was a big deal. He referenced a couple of things right here. This is how the dominoes will fall. For clarity, if clarity goes through, Trump has to take an off-ramp from the Fed investigation. Done. Check. The Senate Banking Committee confirms Kevin. Looks like that's going to happen. And then the Banking Committee has to move ahead with clarity markup, which is hopefully next step right now. Right. And remember, you got Trump going into the Las Vegas event. Yeah, right here. He's going into Bitcoin Las Vegas this weekend. And I don't know if he's going to get the reception that he had at the last time. Exactly. What do you think? Do you think he's going to get that kind of reception?
We had
no strategic reserve. No strategic reserve.
I could be wrong, so correct me if I'm wrong, but Kash Patel is going to be making his way out there as well, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, if you're solely into stocks, I could see you, with that nice golf applause when Trump or Kash come out. But I don't know about crypto investors. Trump was supposed to come in and in the first couple of months of his presidency, he was supposed to change everything for crypto, and he hasn't turned on crypto himself. It's just the policies and things he's done definitely stifled the entire bull market. I would not be surprised to get it. I'm not going to be there, but I'm not going to be surprised if I was in the room if you hear scattered applause from some diehard MAGA kryptonites and then some boos ringing out as well. What will be funny, though, and there's one thing, you can hate Trump, love him, whatever. You cannot argue the man has comedic timing. So I'm interested to see how he responds to the crowd reaction.
I am going to predict that he's going to get some boos.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think he's going to get some. I think it's going to surprise him because I think he maybe isn't as close of touch to the crypto community. Right. And it's very possible that he may have to sidestep some questions around World Liberty Finance, which would be the worst if something like that comes up.
Is he supposed to be on a panel? Is he going to be answering questions?
No, but I'm just wondering if somebody might,
yell stuff,
shout it out.
Well, there'll be some heckling. That one I bet. Then they'll probably try to deal with it quickly.
Let's look at this right here by Ted, and then we'll get into it. So May will start in a week, and it's been a reversal month for Bitcoin, all right? This since 2021, it's kind of been this sell in May, go away. has been right 80% of the time. Would that be the play for you this time? Because this has been downtrends in the years where midterms occur.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's fun. We get to talk about this. I was actually going to talk about on my live show today as well, this discussion. Here's what I want to start off by saying. I am not a fan of any type of analysis that just involves rhyming as its base reasoning for why you should do anything with your money. I don't believe in it, right? And I don't feel like that makes me crazy. Also, obviously, if you had applied sell in May and walk away in 2025, it would not have worked out so well for you. That was actually a pretty good time to be buying. With that said, while I don't believe in the rhyme, I don't use it as my financial advisor. I do think this time anyone who uses it could end up being successful because it has nothing to do with the rhyme. It has to do with as we're going into the month of May. Coincidentally, I think the charts are setting themselves up for another correction.
So the correction in, you've got Tom Lee talking about that. I want to play in terms of a major correction, and then I want to play a clip here from Gareth talking about the NASDAQ and how this may play out. Take a look.
Now, today we are up nicely on the NASDAQ. Will we push up and tag that key trend line that makes up this bigger parallel right here? And that would be a significant signal. If the NASDAQ hits, the S&P has already hit. Could this be the final blow off top of the market? And remember, folks, historically, if you look at the dot-com bubble, the biggest, most vertical move came in the NASDAQ in the final push. The question you just never know is how high it will go.
All right, so right there you saw Gareth kind of pushing on the point that a lot of analysts have been alluding to, and that is a possible major pullback in the S&P and the NASDAQ with this trend heading up, which could affect Bitcoin right now. Do you think Bitcoin has had its run here around 77, 79, or do you think we still have a chance at over 80 when you look at the charts?
Yeah, I mean, when I say that there's a chance at over 80, that's just because anything is possible. What I don't think is going to happen, though, is I do not think we're going to get above 80,000. Let's call it 80,600. And my reasoning for that is this is the big wick that we had back here in November. And what you have at the moment, the way my team's been working on this inside of our trading group, we're working with the established thought that this is an Elliott wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pattern. So one was between that top and that November dip down into the $80,000 level. Then wave 2 was back up here to 98. Wave 3 was down to 60,000. Wave 4, is it confirmed over yet? Maybe not. I think it probably is, but it can't. In Elliott wave theory, you can get back up to it. You can get very close to the bottom of wave 1. You don't ever go above the bottom of wave 1. So that's going to be some pretty staunch resistance. And then, of course, wave 5 is what takes you down to your new lower low. The thing that I'm watching, though, is it's not just that Elliott wave theory, though. It's the fact that we have a lot of resistance in this camp. Notice even as we've gotten back up high, the volume really hasn't done much of anything. Depending on what time frame you even look at, you can make the argument the times the volume starts popping up is actually as we're starting to hit some local sell spots. So the bulls aren't necessarily over exaggerating and getting stronger, and we're running into this trend of resistance. We now have, on my indicators, we now have daily sell signals. We have 4-hour sell signals. We have both daily and 4-hour bearish divergences where the RSI is now put in lower highs with higher highs in price action. So, nothing is 100% in the world of cryptocurrency and technical analysis, but I see way more evidence saying that Bitcoin right now is overbought than oversold, even with all the good news that's come out here recently. And you can go off my chart here now because I'm done talking on that one. There's some great headlines this week, okay? And they've taken us right back up to resistance, but we're not seeing more volume come in. We're not seeing this overwhelming push from bulls to shatter through resistance, which to me kind of spells this was more of a liquidation grab, meaning all the people who were bearish who maybe got in early to try to get this short early, we just went up, liquidated them really quickly, and now we might see a misdirection to the downside. With that said, does that mean that I'm entering longs on Bitcoin or Ethereum? The answer there is no. And right now, I actually am in a slight loss on a short position on Bitcoin I entered the other day. If you guys want to take a look at that, I'll show your community what I have going on. And it's going to be a little confusing, but I'll explain it here in a second. So this is my trade setup that I have for Bitcoin. I think it could get as low as 53,000. So my main take profit is down there, but I have some other take profit spots. I like to lock in profit on the way down. What I have now is I actually just this morning entered another short position. So I entered short the other day because there was reason to believe we could pull back after this move. But after our higher high and now bearish divergence, I have two different entry positions on Bitcoin at 77.8-ish. And down here, I also entered at 75.9. But again, that was the other day. My stop loss, for the same reasons I just told you guys earlier, my stop loss right now is up at 81,000. Why? Because if we were to break above this wick back here, we've broken the 5-wave Elliott wave theory thought process, in which case I at least want to reevaluate what I've been looking at. But that level, that 80,500 is a hard resistance level for me at the moment under the way I'm reading the markets. And like I said earlier, with those daily and 4-hour divergences and sell signals, we're sitting at resistance. We've been kind of thinking this is an Elliott wave move. Every reason in the world right now, in my opinion, to be short on Bitcoin. But that doesn't mean in my long-term portfolio that I'm selling my Bitcoin.
Right. Yeah.
I'm going to DCA for long-term. I'm going to set people up for proper risk management, but also prepare. Guess what? I think next week and maybe the week after, we'll be able to DCA at even lower levels.
You've got BMNR bulls talking about this right here, which is ETH pretty much dominating in terms of top chains by fees, even over a hyperliquid there. If you look at Ethereum and Solana, I'm just going to go to the Solana chart. And if you look at the month of April, since April 2nd, that's a 12% move right now. Mm-hmm. Is this one of those that you feel probably has an opportunity to be in a short position here for Solana, especially when you compare it to what's happening with Ethereum? Where would you be on Solana right now?
Well, the really easy thing, Paul, is that when you look at a lot of those cryptos, you could probably just about trade it timeline-wise or signal-wise along with Bitcoin. So if I get a buy signal on Bitcoin, I probably should be longing Solana and Ethereum. If I have a sell signal, I should be shorting it. Now, you want to look at these specific charts to see levels of serious resistance and support. For example, you look at Solana. I'm gonna flip-flop right here. So this is Solana's chart right here. This is Bitcoin's. Clearly, Bitcoin was trading in a rising channel. Same with Ethereum. So Ethereum kind of more similar to Bitcoin. Solana, while the moves and the waves were very similar, it's more horizontal, right? So I have a resistance level here between $90 to $93 and support recently between $78 and $75. But if Bitcoin's sell signal holds up, by the way, those exact same signals are coming in on Solana here as well. You don't have the bearish divergences per se, but the reason you don't have the bearish divergences is because unlike Bitcoin, we didn't just come up here and set a new last couple of month high here. We're actually kind of just trading sideways. So with those sell signals coming in on both these time frames, with Bitcoin specifically having bearish divergence, I'm more of a fan right now of a move to the downside. Right. So on Solana, and I won't set this all up perfectly, but, I'd be looking at short positions. I would probably be looking to take some initial profits back down here at 78, just because I'm a big fan of take profits as you get them, take some capital off, lower your stop loss down to break even. And then I'd be looking for moves. I have targets. I think I've said them on the show before, but I have targets. Solana could get to as low as $60 to potentially $50. And no one wants to hear that. Yeah, but that's the reality of what the charts are saying right now. And that's where the big support is coming in, is $60 and $50.
If DeFi restores the 200 million shortfall through voluntary coordination, it'd be an absolute historic vote of confidence. No taxpayer funded bailed out, just grit. Okay, so DeFi is if this in fact gets done, this would be very, very bullish for DeFi in general. With all of the things that have happened in DeFi, and you look at just in the last 10 days,
right.
First of all, how are you playing this right now? Are you working in DeFi at all with any of your strategies? Or are you even looking at any of the DeFi tokens, whether it's Uniswap or even AAVE?
We put out a video this last week called the top 5 real world asset plays. And or not the top 5 real. There's a list. We did a list where we were talking about AAVE swap. I can't remember which video it actually was at this point. And we love AAVE. I recorded the video, I think the day before the hack came out. Oh boy. But we still posted it because it was a good video. It was just one of several coins on there we were talking about. Mm-hmm. And I had some comments below pretty much saying, Tim, how do you ignore this information? Well, it wasn't out there when I made the video. But we did record a video shortly after because there's that 15-minute panic. You see the news, you see the chart, you start to freak out, and you say, you know what? What's going on here? And do I need to rethink my allotment of AAVE? And I want to show the AAVE chart. I know this wasn't probably part of the plan, but I want to show people what I saw on the chart. So AAVE is starting to catch some momentum here, was even starting to break for the first time since this trend line started back here in August of 2025. We actually put a daily candle, actually 2 daily candles above that red line. But then the news came out here, and the news came out around, I think it was Saturday the 18th, and we dropped. But look where we dropped back down to. If you were just reading headlines, I told this to my community, you would have thought that the chart had actually looked like this, right?
Yeah.
You would have thought that we were at lows we hadn't seen in a long time. We just dropped back down to the same support level we were at the week prior. So this isn't screaming at me a massive exodus from AAVE. What's even more important is this wasn't the first time. It was the largest hack, but this wasn't the first time anything built on AAVE had gotten hacked and there'd been some sort of problem. What I'm telling my community is we haven't had a legitimate, you used to live in this world where every other month people would come out with some sort of reason why Bitcoin was dead, and it felt real. When was the last time someone claimed, people claim Bitcoin's dead all the time, but no one actually it never affects us. I think we're in a new wave where DeFi, you're going to hear a lot of DeFi is dead, and there's going to be very real situations that happen that make your brain and your guts feel like, man, I think this might be it. This might hurt. The last real big one was what? FTX collapse way back there in 2022. Can you trust the DeFi world whatsoever? Remember one token. I think this one of the earliest times was on your show. You talked about this before. One of the tokens most hurt by that whole situation was Solana. And the whole thing came out. Solana's dead. DeFi is dead. I came on your show and you reminded me several times.
$8 Solana.
I wasn't a fan of Solana at the time, but I told you on your show, I said, I think $8 is a decent support level.
Yeah.
Where did Solana bottom out at $8? What would go on the next year? Solana would go on to be the #1 token in cryptocurrency. And while it's not necessarily the top list right now, the charts aren't doing anything sexy. I don't think anyone thinks Solana's dead or gone. But it felt back in the fall of 2020,
at the time, for sure.
It felt like Solana was done for sure. And I think we're looking at something very similar right here with AAVE, where AAVE is the #1 player right now in the DeFi space. And yeah, they have a black eye, but the chart's not falling apart. And I told my community also, Paul, I said, we will always need DeFi as long as 2 things are true. #1, as long as people exist. And #2, as long as governments are corrupt. And I don't think
that's going to be a while.
I don't think either one's about to change. So
yeah, we got it.
DeFi has a black eye, DeFi corrected, but I see it as an opportunity because it'll switch all around. And I think AAVE, Uniswap, DeFi as a whole will forget these headlines in the next 4 or 5.
It seems as though it's starting to recover with the amount of negative news that came against it. And I think it's interesting too. I have a whole theory that we'll do in the lightning round that I want to get your opinion on.
Good.
Let's jump over to XRP real quick. This wasn't necessarily a Ripple announcement, but it was an announcement by SoFi where they're now allowing access to XRP within the SoFi account. This was intriguing to me because SoFi has a large number of users, but more importantly is that it's a bank that now has XRP access, which means we're probably going to see more banks starting to roll in this, which means maybe more retail adoption. When you look at the XRP chart right now, granted, it's just like everything else. There's been a nice little up for a short period of time. We're expecting a possible retracement. Where would be an entry point for a brand new XRP holder?
A brand new one. Well, again, so I'll start off by saying it's a very good distinction to say brand new. Brand new, you don't know what to look for yourself. You don't know who to trust. I tell people all the time, like, I'm not a financial advisor. Paul, I could be wrong. I don't think you're a financial advisor. We're just 2 guys who are investing in a space. We put our personal money into it. We have educated analytics that maybe a beginner doesn't have. But I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. You don't lie to people. You don't know what the future looks like for price action. But there's proper tactics on investing, and that is, again, DCA strategy. I'm a technical analyst, and I will tell you, at the beginning, DCA.
Yeah, it always wins. Yeah.
When's a good spot to buy XRP? Right now. Why? Because I actually walked my brother through this the other day. My brother invest, and I told him, right now there's 4 options out there. Number one, you can just not invest because you trust the US dollar more than you trust crypto. Sure, that's an option. But if you're watching this content, that's probably not you. Number 2, you could go all in right now. All of you have $10,000 to invest, put it all in right now. Listen, if the bottom's in and we go up, you sound brilliant. If the bottom's not in and we go down, you feel like an idiot. The option 3 is you think we're going to go down. Let's say you think XRP is going to drop to a $1.20 and you hold all of it for $1.20. Well, guess what happens? If we go to $1.20, you feel smart. If we go up, you feel like an idiot.
Yeah.
Option 4 is the right answer. Don't put it all in right now. If I had $10,000, spread that out over the next 10 weeks. I think we got some time here, or at least over the next 5 weeks. A portion today, a portion next week, a portion the week after, and that way you get the best. If the bottom's in, you'll layer it on the way up, but you had this week was a great option. If the bottom's not in, great. You're going to be able to lower your average position over the next couple of weeks as we dip back down.
Let's jump over to our special. We have a new special lightning round.
Oh my goodness. Holy cow. Oh, I love it. There's chains. Oh my goodness. That's
day perfect. 1000 clarity not bad. It's because of your personal test, That's why I asked you the question. Are you working out in the beginning? Anyway, we thought we'd have some fun with that. We got the chain link tats on there.
Trend. I got to start adding trend into my regiment.
Yeah, there you go, my man. Hey, let's go over here. What is more likely to happen first? Do we get stablecoin yield compromise or do we get a Strait of Hormuz compromise?
That's a good question. My business partner, T. Shroom, he would tell you that the reason they're not going to solve the stablecoin problem until they solve the Hormuz problem. I don't know that that's true, though. Part of me wants to be in the middle because I'm not sure, but I actually think that we might solve the stablecoin yield problem first. Okay. That's where I'm leaning right now.
I'm with you on that. I think we're going to find out one way or another, I think, because we're at the deadline here. Granted, any day now. Actually, you know what? I'm going to change mine. I think any day now we could get this done. I'm going to go there. Yeah.
There we go.
All right, Trump's speech tomorrow. This happens at the Bitcoin conference. What would he most likely say about clarity? Generic statement or nothing, or will he call out the banks?
He'd be stupid to call out the banks because I think he's hoping that they're going to play deal. So I'm going to say probably generic statement or nothing. By the way, it was a generic nothing statement last time he talked at the Bitcoin conference. So
except for
I think
firing Gensler.
It'd be stupid if he goes out and goes after the banks because he needs to be friends with them. He needs to make them feel like buddies to get this deal across the line. So I'm going to go generic.
You think?
I think so. I don't think Trump needs to add on to his enemies right now.
I think he's going to go crazy. I think he's going to go all in and get them. There you go. If stablecoin yield deal isn't reached in the next 7 days, Trump unleashes another tweet. He's already done it once. Again, these tweets. But what do you think? Next 7 days, we get another tweet.
Even if it does pass the next 7 days, he'll find some reason to unleash a tweet. So let's go. Yes, there's one thing we can count on. It's a crazy Trump tweet.
We're gonna truth post. Market crashes on May 1st, expecting a clarity markup.
See, I don't even know. I'm going to say yes. I don't know if it's May 1st itself or it's a little before or a little after, but I do think markets, again, the charts are telling me the markets have a crash coming.
In the month of May, I'm in agreement with that.
Yeah. Or right before,
Here's a conspiracy theory. This is something we've thinking about. Recent drift and kelp DAO hacks, the DeFi situation, were perfectly timed by Citadel to kill the clarity and DeFi protections. What do you think?
Yeah, I didn't know if we were going to get to that part of the conversation. I'm not going to pull it out. I have my tinfoil hat.
Do you want to put on the tinfoil?
Why not? We have to give the people what they want. This is what I speculated. I have no evidence, Paul, but the timing and the coincidence, it's just uncanny. And I've been saying for a long time, I think that, Paul, I think they already know what they want to do. I think they've already come to terms, but they're not ready for price bottom to be in yet. So they got to play this song and dance and freak out retail. But part of that song and dance is we have to give them nibbles to make them feel optimistic. So anyone listening to this right now is saying, Tim, they've had so many good conversations. Like, yes, that's part of the song and dance. Now they're going to crush our spirits. And then they're going to bottom. They're going to buy the dip. And then all of a sudden the stars align and, oh, guys, we came to an agreement. Let's pass this bill.
The party's on.
Yeah.
Here we go. AAVE opening DeFi withdrawal gates will dump altcoins one more time.
I don't know if that's the reason.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's the reason. I think altcoins dump one more time. Okay. I don't know if I'd blame AAVE necessarily, but they will.
All right. Justin Sun versus World Liberty Fi unleashes the World Liberty Fi files, exposes years of long pay-for-play corruption by industry leaders. What do you think?
Yeah, unlikely. I think that Trump's going to be able to hide some of that stuff.
Or they get a settlement.
Yeah, something.
Because all the I'm in that camp. I think they settle out. I think that Justin gets his way. They're hugging a banana again. And they're back at it, doing the things they do. Kevin Warsh immediately cuts rates in his first or second meeting, FOMC meeting.
Yes, first or second, yes.
First or second, okay. I'm with you on that one as well. I think he will. He's setting it up too in a lot of these hearings. Have you listened to how he's talking about inflation and, he's blaming, hey, inflation isn't caused by anything except you dummies printing money and spending too much.
Right.
All right. Well, we'll see. First or second meeting. I think I thought I got that. Yeah, there we go. All right. What is the better leveraged TradFi Bitcoin ETH play post clarity? Would it be Master or BMNR?
I don't know. Let me look at the BMNR chart real quickly because I know where MicroStrategy is.
I'm going to go with BMNR for.
Yeah, I'm looking at this. I think BMNR is in the better
only because
spot.
I'm more of an ETH play right now. Even though I do like some of the. Listen, we just had the master guys on, the strategy guys on this week. I think we're going to publish that video today or tomorrow. Oh, it's already out. Okay, so that was a good interview because we learned a lot about Stretch, which is one of their leverage products, which is very interesting. And if anything, that could be intriguing, but I still think BMNR has more upside. So what do you think? BMNR or Master?
An extremely quick look at the charts. And I can't go too depth in here, but I think that there's a little more meat on the bones for BMNR to continue to move up versus MicroStrategy looking a little bit more overbought, in my opinion. So, yeah.
Very good. What is the bigger stablecoin adoption news this week? We get Morgan Stanley doing stablecoin reserves portfolio, and we call it MILF.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
It has to be MILF. I mean, come on. It has to be. It has to be. Or Pornhub. That's the one that needs to be.
I don't even know if the right answer is this.
Ladies, we apologize for this.
On principle, I'm going to hope that it's Morgan Stanley. Let's go with Morgan Stanley.
Morgan Stanley? All right, there you go.
I have a feeling
myself. That would just be too good. That would just be so beautiful. Oh, man, so crazy. Yeah, all right, so let's go to this one right here. What prediction market is more likely to take perps market share away from Hyperliquid? Do you think it'd be Kalshi or Polymarket if it gets powered by Chainlink?
Yeah, listen, that's just an added bonus for me that it's powered by Chainlink. If you had left those little details off there, I still would have said Polymarket.
Yeah, I'm with you. Okay. What else we got here? I think we got one more. After clarity passes, Coinbase unleashes a mega ad campaign telling America to flee the banks.
See, I don't know. These are good questions because you're making my brain even think about it. I've never even thought about it, but Coinbase is very creative with their ads. So they're going to do, I don't know if it's going to be like obvious, but like watch for them to potentially maybe subtly put that out there. Like find a way of telling a story that makes people say like, yeah, I don't trust banks. I need to go move my money to Coinbase.
I think they're going to go hammer down. I think this will be, this is going to be a
just
hammer
obvious
down.
In everybody's face. Yeah. Okay.
Well, the likelihood is it's going to be, there's going to be a compromise on this, that Coinbase didn't get everything they wanted. So I think they're going to be a little bit contentious, a little bit of payback, payback, fair play, as they say. If you're not out there following Tim Warren over on YouTube, make sure and do that. Tim Warren Trades right there. The latest video right here, game over. This one right here, game over. Go watch that one right now. Spend some time with Tim. I love it.
Here we go.
It's good seeing you, man. Take care.
You too.
If you like this video, hit like and subscribe, drop a comment down below, and also join our free private member group. The link is in the description.